Hello,
Hello
from Italy.
hello.
Hello from Italy.
Happy Wednesday, guys. Just checking that we're live here. Just want to make sure. Yes, we are. Fantastic. Awesome.
Great.
So welcome everyone. Rachel here in Australia, Elena in Italy near Venice. I'm very excited to be with you this evening.
Yes, me too. Hello to everybody.
This is like our third show, I reckon. So we've done well. We've overcome technical difficulties. There have been numerous ones.
That's a challenge, but we're stronger than that.
Yes, yes. And so we are very excited to chat to you today about a subject that both of us are very interested in, talk about. And I know both of us practice it. I don't know to what extent. I mean, I know that I sort of ebb and dip into it and dip out of it. But that is the concept or the idea around visualizations and how important they are to you reaching your goals. So we've got a couple of ideas that we're going to share with you today, and some ideas that you can use when you're doing your visualizations. But Elena, why don't you just get us started with a little bit of a chat about why visualizations are important when trying to achieve something?
Well, first of all, I would like to start with when and why did I learn to do visualization? Because it was a long time ago. I was a teenager and I was doing ski competition at quite a high level. And I remember my trainer that used to say, you need to have the track in your mind. You need to know when to stand up and when to go down and push. And if you have that track in your mind, it would just be a dance, and you can practice the track and get it better and better in doing that. Because just by practicing your mind will help your body and everything to be in alignment with that. And actually, without even realizing, I started to apply this to a lot of parts of my life because it was just making it easier. And now I use it in my coaching practice too, for many reasons, for many purposes, like also in order to remove a block, because you see things just in a flow, and you can see you performing at your highest level. And also because, I mean, we know how powerful is our mind and we need to train it. So whenever our mind doesn't really understand the difference between reality and mind training. So it's like we are telling to our mind, is this true? Is this real? Go for it. And and it's so effective. So just by thinking about it, there are studies that say that even if sounds quite amazing, but even if you train yourself in your mind, you can lose weight and grow muscle by simply imagine a simple muscle exercise in your mind. So can you imagine how powerful our mind is if used in the right way? Because we are very good in using it in a bad way most of the time.
Oh, absolutely. And what you touch on there is actually really interesting, because I had always, I'd heard of visualizations and I'd sort of done some of my own. But I mainly did them for business or career or something that I wanted to achieve. But I never ever thought about, I don't know why, I never ever thought about in terms of my health and fitness, same thing. I have goals I want to achieve. Why can't I use that visualization process to help me achieve my goals? And when I started doing that, it was it's not like they became easier, but it was that certainty of knowing that you were going to achieve it because you'd played the scenario over and over and over in your head so many times that when you were actually out there doing the actions, you knew that you were going to get a result from it because you'd already run through the scenario in your head.
Absolutely.
And so for me, I was like, and like it's similar to your skiing example, like, you know, knowing that you were going to run this course, playing it over and over in your head again, your mind has already done it. So it takes it away that, I mean, obviously you're going to get nervous and stuff, but that anxiety of, will this ever happen? Will this come true? Will I do this? Because in your mind, it's a done deal.
No, the more you train your mind, the less you will be nervous about it, because it would just be normal for her to, we're not used to this concept, but whenever it comes from, really, I remember when I used to do competition, I was nervous. I really wasn't nervous at all. I was there. I knew exactly what I had to do, and I knew I could do it at my best. And that's probably why I was so good in skiing. And that should be the same for any goal you set in your life, business, physical, emotional, or whatever. We can really train our mind to be at our service. And
yes.
And she's so good in this, and she's probably so much looking forward to be using in an effective way.
Yeah.
We keep her busy instead of
Yes.
spinning around and worry and fear and what might happen, what should happen, what
crazy thoughts.
Yes. So
what is she thinking about me?
Exactly. So she needs to think and process things. So let's give them something effective to think about. So yes. We can perform even better. I mean, visualization is so much used in the sport environment, and we just need to apply them to other areas of our life. And I love doing them.
And it can be as simple as like deciding how you want your day to go, visualizing how you want your day to be. If you find that you are in a job or doing something that you don't particularly enjoy, or you know, maybe you go to work with anxiety or something like that, you can create a visualization for yourself in the morning that you know how you're going to feel during the day. You're going to feel confident. You're going to feel like in control. And waking up every morning and doing that before you go to work is actually going to change things. It will change how your day is. It'll change how, you know, you experience your life. And some people sort of like knock it off like it's not, you know, what's that really going to do to change anything? But it really, really does work.
Well, I tell you what I do as my daily practice. Whenever I jump into my shower in the morning, and I love so much water, but of course a shower is not enough for me. I would really like to jump in the ocean rather than into the shower. But anyway, I am in the shower, so I imagine I have in a beautiful cascade in a tropical island with flowers and birds around me, and I just stay there and rejuvenate myself, and I feel the sun in my body, and those are one of the five most beautiful minutes of my life, because I really am there. It's not that I'm pretending I'm there. I can feel so much. I can feel the birds. I can feel the perfume. I can feel the water. I can feel the sun in my, and I know by now that my body and my mind perceive it as true, because it cannot really figure out what is real, what's not real. So imagine what does this to my cells and to my well-being, just to have a everyday beautiful shower in the tropics.
Yes. I think I'm going to do that now.
Okay. I mean, the world would be a better place if just everybody would start their day with a tropical shower instead of rushing into the car and put ourselves into traffic and you know.
Yes. So tell me, from my own personal experience, I feel like a very important part of visualization is the emotional component, like feeling those feelings of, you know, being under the waterfall, or feeling how you'd feel when you cross that finish line and you've won, or you've got the time that you wanted, or, you know, feeling how you want to feel when you're in that size 10 jeans that you really want to fit into. That is really, really important to tap into and to feel now. And sometimes it can be hard. How do you feel about the emotion side of visualizations?
Well, I can tell you that whenever you are really in the present, you feel those emotions. So what you feel, that happiness in your cells, and sometimes I even cry of happiness on feeling myself in my shower in the traffic. It's just so real. I mean, I'm so much looking forward to it that it's really like, yes, you know, it's a yes from every cell of my body.
Yes.
And when you can really feel it emotionally, it's when it's really true for your mind and body. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're just pretending you are fitting it.
Yes.
But the emotion are really the most important component of this. We visualize things in order to activate emotions, and those emotions that really truly connect us with that view we have, and we make it real by connecting our emotion to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when we sit there and we think about, you know, what we want, you know, a specific goal or whatever, like that's fine. But when you connect the emotions, it's like it amplifies it like 100 times. And like,
yes, but also
it like compresses
Rachel,
the timeline.
Think also that if you cannot connect your emotion to your goals, maybe your goals need to be reframed. Because sometimes we think we want something, but actually we don't really need that, and we are just pleasing somebody or pleasing whatever, you know. And it doesn't need to be too hard. If it's getting too hard, it means you really need to think, do I really want this one? Or let it go and see what might come out from it. You know, be creative a little bit, because we can be so strict with our mind. I want this, but maybe the universe, God, has something else in mind for ourselves. Are you available to listen to it? Yes, because I was surprised so many times by it, that I have something in mind, and I realized that God, the universe, really had a different plan for me, and it was absolutely much better because than what I thought. And he has a much wider vision, so to surrender to that and to tune with your emotion into it is so powerful. So also trust that if you cannot really connect, probably you're not connected. So let's go deeper, understand better. What do I need to reframe? What do I need to listen to? What is this situation telling me?
Absolutely. And I think it doesn't have to be that complicated either. Like, you know, you don't have to sit there for 20 minutes visualizing your dream life, you know. Like you said, in the shower, you know, you're standing there in the shower, you're visualizing. Like, it can be that easy. And I set myself a timer in the mornings for 3 minutes and do it for 3 minutes. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to sit there and create massive vision boards and do it. You can do that, but don't overcomplicate it as well. And like exactly what you said, listen to the feedback. If you're not excited sitting there thinking about this goal or this thing that you desire, then maybe it's time, like you said, to check in and say, is this really what I want? Like, or is this what I think I should want? Is this the next step that I think I need? And like, if you're sitting there and you're like, oh yeah, that would be great. Oh yeah, I'm excited. Like, the universe is not going to go, we'll send that right your way, Rachel. Yeah, you're really pumped about it.
That's also why a lot of people question, for example, the law of attraction, because they say, okay, I sat there, I visualize it, I want it, and I'm not having it. And if you test, there are no emotion connected to your desires.
Yes.
And so are you surprised that you cannot manifest that? It's not, I mean, we are very lucky that the universe, we are not still in that place that whenever we think something, it will appear, because that could be very dangerous. We are not ready for that right now.
No.
So, what's the universe, God is doing at the moment? So check it better. Is this really what you want? Before we create something that you need to get rid of it afterwards, But also remember to be playful with that, because the more light and playful you are, don't take yourself too seriously, really enjoy the process. Something I do every time I go to town and with my son, and I need to find a parking in town. So it's like, so Alessandro, let's visualize a parking. And sometimes he's like, oh, mommy, stop with this stupid thing. So, okay, I will visualize parking because I don't want to get stuck into that too long.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. You're not going to, sometimes even my mother is in the car, it's Saturday night. Parking are totally full. It's impossible. I like this word. It's impossible that you can find parking. Okay. Let me focus on it. And I arrive. I park.
Incredible.
It is, but you really, I mean, it's also the practice, and I really do that. And enjoying it, of course, and enjoying also the process. But I also realized that I'm playing with these kind of things, and sometimes I forgot to do it with a bigger plan in my life, when I should absolutely use this power and this law we have. But I'm ready for that.
Yes, I remember there was this particular job that I really, really wanted. And I had applied for the job, and I was sort of like waiting to hear back about an interview. And then once I had the interview, then I was waiting to hear back about the job. And I remember, like, I would sit down every day and I would write, I'm so grateful for this job. I'm so grateful for this job that I'm now in. Like, and I'd write the position. And then what I used to do was I used to sit there and visualize answering the phone when, like, this person would ring me and tell me that I'd got the job. I would visualize it. I would say it out loud, like, hi, hello, Rachel speaking. And I would, like, actually say how I knew the conversation would go. And then, of course, like, it happened. And I remember sitting there, and, like, this person had rung me and said, like, oh, we would like to offer you the job. And I remember thinking, like, it really happened? And it was happening in a way, like, exactly the way that I had visualized it. And it was almost like it was happening in my mind again, because I was like, is this really happening? I've played this over and over in my head so many times, and it was almost like it wasn't a big deal, because I was just like, oh, I've had this conversation 357 times in the last month every morning. But it is so powerful and so easy. Like, we overcomplicate it so often, but it really is that easy.
Absolutely. And I have another example that's the opposite for what you said. I remember myself standing there. I said, yes, I want a lot of clients, and I want visualizing the clients, and then as I was getting good to that, I could see the room full of clients and the call ringing all the time, and my mail full of messages. And then I said, whoa, wait a minute. Is this really what I want? I said, yes, of course. Who doesn't want a lot of clients in their practice? And I said, no, this is not really what I want. I want to be able to take care of myself and to really have few and great clients in my practice, and I refrain completely that too. and sometimes we don't understand what we think is perfect might not be perfect for our lifestyle, for the or for I mean, and we're probably just trying to visualize things from a lack, a fear point of view. For me, like, yes, I want everything, so you can get more.
Totally.
And actually, this is not what I want, and and this is not how I want to create my life, and this is not how I can be of service for others. And so I had to learn to reframe even my desires and my visualization too. Because actually, if you go deeper into them, you will also feel how you feel. So if you're not feeling good in what you are visualizing, that's a good sign that you thought you wanted that, but you don't really want it, or you want it in a different form.
Yeah. And like, I think what's also really important just to touch on here before we wrap up is how we are visualizing on a daily basis, or even a moment by moment basis, without even realizing it. Because and this is sort of like the opposite of what we've been talking about today, like creating our beautiful lives and reaching our goals. But on the opposite hand, like when we sit there and go, oh, this isn't going to go right, no one's going to sign up for our program, I'm not going to lose the weight, like I'm not going to be able to run the kilometer in under a 5 minute. Like when you keep saying that to yourself over and over again and visualize it not happen, or not visualize, but think about it not happening, that's basically a visualization. You're visualizing you not reaching the goal that you want to, because you think to yourself, it's not possible, I can't do it, I don't have the skills, no one's going to think I'm interesting, I've tried and tried again, but it's never happened. And so it's really important then to sort of like check in with what our thoughts are. And for me, a way that I learned how to do this was to listen to the feedback from the universe, and the feedback is your emotions. So if you're feeling like, a bit down, or you're getting frustrated, that is feedback for you to go, hold on, what are the thoughts that I'm thinking at the moment? Like I keep saying to myself, I'm writing this mailer or whatever, and like, no one's going to read this, or, whatever it is. Well, then what do you think is going to happen? No one's going to read it. And so
yes, the main problem is that we used our mind in a bad way for so long. And and so all this negative thought, bad behavior, and we use the mind. If we use the mind in this way, its power is going to be used from the opposite of what we need, and so it's going to create exactly what we don't want. And so it's also important, in order to get out of those sabotaging thoughts, is to start a dialogue. So every time I found myself, somehow it's getting less and less, saying like, oh, who's going to read this email? And so I answered back to that thing. It's like, if you put it out with really from a loving place, it will reach the person that are supposed to read it. And I feel they'll say, oh, yes, sure. This.
Yeah.
And so I'm at peace, and I absolutely, at that time, with the dialogue with my mind, I was able to tell her the right thing she needed to know to calm down and to be service for me. And so I can write this letter from an inspired, loving point of view and send it out with all my love. And I know it will reach maybe only one person, but this person was just waiting for my letter and to change. And that would be enough. I mean, if I can change one life per day with one letter, I would be so happy about that.
Exactly.
It's so much anyway. So
as we wrap up, do you have any tips or anything for anyone who's new to visualizations and, wants to start a visualization practice?
Yes, it's really, sometimes we get disconnect so much from our body, and still the first important thing is really to start to feel our breath. So whenever you feel tense, just breathe feel the air in and feel it going out. It's really, and visualize it. Really, it's so simple, but it's so transformational. You stop the thinking immediately, you feel better, you ground yourself just by doing that. And if you can really, it's a kind of visualization, instead that you can feel, see a gold light going in and a gold or whatever pink light going out.
Yeah.
And this is quite easy to do, and even if you haven't done it before in your life, it works so well. And if you have done most already for a long period of time, it's always a good practice to remind yourself to stop and breathe. We are alive. We have a body, and we need to listen to our body, to our emotion, and to have all of them together in order to be to take an inspired action. And what would you suggest, Rachel?
Well, for me, I would say keep it simple. And I think what you just touched on there is a very simple, easy way to get started. But also start off with something like small, something that you feel like you can, get momentum with, practice your visualizations, practice manifesting stuff, and just keep it simple. Do it for 2 minutes a day. But I think the really important key thing here for me is your practice needs to be consistent. You need to be doing it every morning. And getting into that space, into that vibration every morning.
Take a shower
for it
in
to sort of like exactly.
That's easy to do.
Absolutely. So for me, consistency and keeping it simple is what has helped me sort of maintain my practice. So
for me, it's also important.
Hope that was super useful.
For me, it's also important to be creative because I'm a very creative person and I love doing that. That's what brings me joy. So think about what is going to bring me joy in this practice. So even if in the breathe in, breathe out, I would start to see probably a light with a bubble, a light with strings, a light with the stars going out, and I can even be more creative than that. So that's make me laugh. Yes, that's really make me laugh immediately, and this by itself will raise my vibration, and I guess your vibration. But of course, this works for me. You need to find out what is working for you. We are all unique human beings, so you really need to test and to check with yourself what is working for you.
Yeah. And I think also something that it sounds silly to like just thinking about it, but realizing that raising your vibration is such an important part of visualization. Like you cannot visualize a new way of being or a new something if your vibrations are down here at the same level. And I think we touched on that last week. The same level that's not necessarily the problem, but the current state, you need to raise the vibration to then create a new state or a new level of being. And so putting on cool music or, something that's going to get you pumped up or being excited about your visualization is also really, really important.
Yes, but also starting a visualization with a breathe exercise or with we can take a shower even if you have no water. That's a good way to clean yourself. I love, for example, yes, and that's a very good way to clean yourself and to put yourself in a better state before you start visualizing something that is more important to you. So just take it really could be 30 seconds just to tune in and before you manifest anything, because this is really important. Be careful on what you manifest, because that could be a very good learning experience.
To realize how powerful you actually really are.
Yes. And then sometimes we're like, no, sorry, I didn't mean that. Let's reframe.
Change my mind.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, I hope everyone got something out of that today. Let us know if you have your own visualization practice, some of the things you've manifested that you thought were incredible, or even just the simple things. We'd love to know what you thought about today's content and conversation. So pop us a comment below, but we will see you again next week.
Yes, please share your thought. We are looking forward to answer to your questions and to know more, to know the way you do and how you handle with this. Thank you very much.
We'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
Ciao.